So I did a green and gold look because get it? Money can't buy me love? Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Gen Z in the 80s. If you are new, my name is Avery and this is a show where I review movies that came out decades before I was even born. In the previous episode, I reviewed Dream a Little Dream, and boy, I put myself through a lot for that one. Please check it out. I don't want my suffering to go in vain. Today I'm reviewing 1987's Can't Buy Me Love, starring McDreamy himself. A family friend actually really wanted me to review this movie, so I'm doing it. And I have gotten a lot of requests for different movies, and by the way, thank you guys so much for those, I really appreciate it. But she was the first one to request something, and first come, first served, am I right? This is the first movie I'm reviewing that's actually legitimately good. And don't get me wrong, this movie has its issues, but it's actually held up surprisingly well. Basically, the movie's about a nerd paying the most popular girl in school $1,000 so she can go out with him. I swear it's not as bad as it sounds. Then later on he becomes popular and he has to learn the true value of being yourself. High school stereotypes and other shenanigans ensue. Let's dive in. So the movie opens up with Patrick Dempsey, who plays Ronald, mowing the lawn of popular head cheerleader Cindy, who is played by Amanda Peterson. By the way, for the longest time, I thought that Amanda Peterson and the girl who portrayed Heather Chandler in Heathers were the same person, and I was genuinely shocked when I found out that they're two completely different people. You know Ronald is a nerd because he's wearing a space shirt and he has glasses. And you know Cindy and her friends are popular because their vocabulary consists of hee hee, we're so cool, ha ha ha. So Cindy used her mom's credit card and her mom is all like, Cindy, you need to be more responsible like that boy over there. And then Cindy is all like, oh, get serious. So we are in Cindy's room with Cindy and her two other friends that I never got the names of because they have no personalities of their own. They find out that Cindy's college boyfriend, Bobby, is on TV. I knew a Bobby once. The reporter asks Bobby what he misses most about high school, and instead of saying Cindy, he mentions missing some workout equipment. Womp womp. Later on, Ronald is seen spying on the cheerleaders practicing when he is approached by his nerdy friend Kenneth, played by the one dude from that one scene from Back to the Future. By the way, throughout this movie, you will figure out that Ronald truly does not deserve Kenneth as a friend. Kenneth is all like, hey, weren't you in the library? Yes, because nerds like spending their time in high school libraries. Then Ronald is all like, man, I wish I was popular. Then one of Cindy's friends invites the senior football players to her back to school party, and you know they're seniors because they decide to hit on the freshman cheerleaders. Am I the only one that never actually saw that in high school? I mean, I'm not saying that it didn't happen, because it probably did happen, because I'm just very unobservant, which is ironic, because I review movies. So then we get a conversation between Ronald and Kenneth about making memories in high school.
The prom, parties, homecoming, we're supposed to have memories.
I didn't get a senior prom. Anyway, Kenneth's idea of fun high school memories is yearbook committee and Saturday night card games, but then Ronald rejects all of that in favor of being popular. And this is probably one of my favorite interactions from this movie.
Wouldn't you like to be popular?
And have to be in a clique? No.
Then Ronald expresses his desire to go to football games and how he's tired of sitting in the visitors section at his own school. And that is a part of the biggest problem with this movie, which I will get to that later. Later on, Cindy is all like, hey mom, can I borrow your really expensive outfit? And her mom is all like, no! But then Cindy, big fat, borrows her mom's outfit anyway. Then we see Ronald and his family at the dinner table discussing the $1,000 telescope that Ronald has saved up by mowing many, many lawns. And since he is such a nerd, he's able to figure out how much money he made by the mile.
$1,500. Yeah, I mowed 331 miles of grass this summer. That's $4.54 per mile.
Then we get to the part of the movie that makes pretty much everyone watching go, "Oh my god, is that Seth Green?" Yes, it is, and thanks to that casting decision, the jokes in this video are now going to write themselves. He plays the annoying kid sibling that, like I've said before, many protagonists in 80s teen movies have, named Chucky. Okay, what is up with redheaded characters being named Chucky? Then we get to one of many parties in this movie. Usually 80s teen movies have like one big party, but this movie feels the need to have like many small parties. So Cindy starts telling everyone that Bobby got her this expensive outfit from Iowa where all the fine leathers are apparently. But then one of Cindy's interchangeable friends calls her out and she's all like, "Wait, I didn't like see that in your closet like a couple days ago." And then Cindy is all like, "Oh my god, what? That's so weird, oh my god." And walks away. Then the one freshman girl is all like, "My mom would never let me wear that. That leather is so hard to clean." And then, uh-oh! Directly afterwards, one of the popular guys spills red wine all over Cindy. So Ronald goes to the mall to buy his $1,000 telescope, and he coincidentally sees Cindy desperately trying to replace her mother's ruined dress, which also coincidentally costs $1,000. And you know something big's about to happen because that 80s synth music kicks in. Ronald offers to pay $1,000 to replace the dress, but on one condition. She has to pretend to be his girlfriend so he can become popular. She eventually agrees to it, and now they're going to pretend to go out for a couple weeks. Now it's the first day of school, and Cindy decides there's no way you can walk to school looking like that, because long sleeves and glasses aren't cool enough for the popular kids. So we get to class, and Kenneth notices that Ronald isn't acting like himself. The teacher gets mad that Ronald is talking and tells him to name the bones in the human body. Okay. Then we get to the popular kids cooking in home ec. Okay. What school do they go to? It's the first day and they're already doing stuff? Anyway, they ask her what the deal is with her and Ronald and Bobby, and she just dodges all of their questions and doesn't answer them. Later we get to lunch, and one of the popular kids tells Ronald that he needs to go back to the nerd section. Careful, dude. Ronald could be your surgeon saving your life one day. But Cindy sticks up for him. The other kids at the table then pick on Ronald for sitting in the visitors section at their games. "Girl, you have a stripe on your face. You have no room to talk." But then Cindy is all like, "Ronald actually sits over there for psychological warfare. He has more school spirit than any of us." And the other kids at the table agree with Cindy. Then Ronald gets all dressed up because he's taking Cindy to another 80s teen movie party. Chucky thinks something is up and decides to follow him to the party. I guess you can say he can't hardly wait to get out of the house. Cindy snaps at Ronald because Ronald wanted to walk to the party instead of driving. Oh no, the horror. Ronald then calms her down and talks to her, and honestly, Ronald would be such a sweetheart if he wasn't trying so desperately hard to be something that he's not. Then the movie shows that Ronald has skipped out on the Saturday night card game with his true friends. Now we have arrived to the second teen movie party in this movie. And I may be immature, but this part sent me into orbit. Then one of the popular girls comments that Ronald has gone from totally geek to totally chic. I'm not even kidding, that's literally a line in this movie.
He went from totally geek to totally chic.
Later on, Ronald is seen washing Cindy's car, and suddenly I forgot the plot. Anyway, Cindy and Ronald start to legitimately like each other, and she trusts him enough to share her poetry with him, something that she has never shown anybody else, not even Bobby. Then Ronald is all like, "Cindy, you can trust me with your secret." That won't be brought up later. So then Ronald takes Cindy on a date to the airplane graveyard. Then later on, Ronald educates Cindy about the moon. You wouldn't think this scene would work. You'd probably think it'd be boring and pointless. But honestly, the scene's adorable. After that, they come up with a plan on how they're going to have their quote-unquote breakup. Then the next day, Cindy and Ronald have their fake breakup, which includes the movie's PG-13 F-bomb, and it ends with her slapping him. Later, Ronald thanks Cindy for making him popular, but then Cindy is all like, "Being popular isn't fun, it's like a job." And then Cindy also tells Ronald that whatever happens with his newfound popularity, he He needs to stay himself. And then he is not himself in the very next scene. Ronald is now dressed like a complete moron and all the other popular kids are totally into it, but Cindy is not having any of it. So then Ronald takes out one of Cindy's interchangeable friends and we see that Chucky is hiding in the car with him? Why in the world would he want to follow his brother on a date? Is he that much of a snitch? Who's this kid think he is? He's like the Diet Coke of evil. Just 1 calorie, not evil enough. So they are approached by the popular guys, and at first they make fun of Ronald because he's driving his dad's station wagon, but then automatically change their minds because the car is now cool since Ronald is driving it. Earlier in this video, I said I'd talk about the biggest problem with this movie, and that is this movie is hilariously stereotypical. Don't get me wrong, high school archetypes exist in pretty much every teen movie, even the ones outside of the 80s. Archetypes are fine as long as they're well executed and fleshed out. These archetypes are in place for a reason because every school has the outcasts, the band kids, the popular kids, the football jocks, etc. But what makes it a problem in this movie is the fact that these characters, at least the side characters, are not fleshed out at all. The popular boys in this movie wear their sports uniforms at school and are disgusting farting pigs. The popular girls in this movie like boys and having fun, I guess? Meanwhile, the nerds in this movie are so unpopular and nerdy that they hang out in the school library, watch PBS in their free time, grow spores, wear glasses, sit in the visitor section at their own school, and they're not even allowed to walk in the quote-unquote cool kid hallway? Seriously, what school has a hallway that's only for the popular kids? Now, if you're not a popular kid and you have a class in that hallway, I guess you're screwed. So one of Cindy's interchangeable friends invites Ronald to go to the dance with her, and she's all like, I bet you're a sexy dancer. And he says that he is. But oh no! Ronald actually isn't a sexy dancer! It's the classic, I lied about being good at something that I don't know how to do.
Oh Lord. Again.
So Ronald finds a dance show to watch on TV so he can learn how to dance. But then Ronald stops watching it too soon and doesn't realize that it's actually the African anteater ritual. Classic mix-up. Then we get to the school dance scene, because it wouldn't be an 80s teen movie without it. Nothing really happens except Cindy has a date? Are we supposed to forget that Bobby exists? I mean, I know you kind of forgot that Cindy exists, but still, I'm confused. Did they formally break up off screen? I don't know. Then Ronald starts doing the African anteater ritual, and at first everybody thinks it's very strange, but then one of the popular guys is all like, well, if Ron is doing it, then it must be new! And then everybody joins in. If this movie taught me anything, is that high school kids are sheep. And of course the nerds recognize what they're doing because of course the nerds spend their free time watching PBS. Later, Ronald and one of Cindy's interchangeable friends are hanging out in Ronald's dad's car, and she decides to show Ronald her shoes, younger audience. And yet again, Chucky is in the back seat creepily spying on them. Even though he's a little snitch, I still think it's weird that he keeps sneaking on his brother's dates. Now once again, I'm going to invite my own kid brother and see what he thinks about it. So Leighton, if I were to ever go on a date, would you hide in the back seat and spy on me?
Yes.
Okay, not the answer I was hoping for, but I was trying to prove a point.
Right.
Bye. Thanks for helping me not prove my point, I guess. Well, prove me wrong. Anyway, now it is Halloween and Ronald is about to egg a house along with the popular kids. Apparently the popular kids attack this house every single year. But, oh no! It's Kenneth's house! Ronald insists they don't attack the house, but eventually falls under peer pressure. Ronald then throws a bag of literal dog crap on Kenneth's door, but then is caught in a trap. Then Kenneth realizes that Ronald has truly betrayed him, but he sets him free anyway. Kenneth's the real one. This scene made me truly dislike Ronald. I mean, yeah, he acted like a complete jerk before, but this was just the nail in the coffin for me. And the sad thing is, this is not even the worst thing that Ronald has done in this movie. We'll get to that scene later. Meanwhile, Cindy and her two interchangeable friends are talking about Ronald. Cindy is all like, Bobby's not mine. So, I guess they broke up? I don't know. Cindy also proceeds to call out both of her friends for basically sharing Ronald. I freaking love Cindy. She's always calling people out on their bullcrap. Later on, Cindy goes on another date with the one dude from the dance, and he's all like, I want a milkshake, extra thick. And then Cindy gets him a milkshake, and then he's all like, this isn't thick. Then Cindy, rightfully, dumps the drink all over him. Meanwhile, Ronald and Chucky are discussing their report cards with their parents, and we get one of the most satisfying moments in this movie. Because throughout this entire movie, I wanted to punt this kid like a football. And what other movie features the younger sibling getting called out? Both of the parents literally tell Chucky to shut up.
Chilling.
Shut up, Chuck.
I was talking to Ma, Dad. Shut up, Chuck.
And that is the origin story of how Daniel Oz Osborne became such a chill dude. His parents just told him to shut up. Oh, come on, Seth Green is in this movie. You thought I wouldn't reference Buffy at some point? Hello, I'm editing right now, and I just want to point out something that I find that would fit this video. Even though we're kind of derailing everything right now. But I just want to point this out. So I have a Buffy calendar right above my bed because, you know, of course I do. And Seth Green, who plays Chucky, was on my wall for the entire month of June. This has nothing to do with anything. I mean, I guess it kind of does, but I just wanted to point this out. Anyway, back to editing. Cindy then tries to invite Ronald to the airplane graveyard and tries to tell him about her poetry, and he completely blows her off for some other random girl. And yet again, this isn't even the worst thing he's done in this movie. That's coming up though. So we get to the third teen movie party in this movie, and this time it's a New Year's Eve party. Cindy is very drunk, and she stumbles across Ronald making out with this one girl that isn't one of Cindy's interchangeable friends. And we have made it to the absolute worst thing that Ronald does in this movie. Are y'all ready? It's pretty bad. Okay. As Ronald is making out with this chick, he recites one of Cindy's poems that she read to him and that he swore he would never tell anyone about. And to make it worse, Cindy saw the whole thing. Then we get to the big climax of this movie where Ronald finally gets exposed and he finally gets what he rightfully deserves. So Bobby arrives from college and finds out that Cindy and Ron were together. Bobby gets really mad. So I guess they didn't break up? I can even take sides. Like, I'm just really confused. But then Cindy tries to tell Bobby that it was fake and that Ronald paid her, and then Bobby calls her a employee, younger audience. And that's when Cindy completely loses it. She stops the music and reveals to everybody that Ronald paid her $1,000 for her to go out with him. Not only does she call out Ronald, she calls out everybody in the room. And she calls them a bunch of followers. And then to top it all off, she says,
I mean, at least I got paid.
Then after her speech, literally nobody wants anything to do with Ronald anymore, and he leaves the party as a complete nobody. Then for a little bit, we get scenes of Ronald struggling and stuff. Nobody will go near him, people are throwing stuff at him, the popular girls are making fun of Ronald's car, and Cindy rightfully calls him out for it.
I sworn that a couple girls I knew got very comfortable in that Spazmobile.
Yes, Queen! Yes, Queen! Yes, Queen!
We even get the best joke in this movie.
Didn't you take economics? You could have had me for $49.95.
Then Kenneth even rightfully attacks Ronald when Ronald tries to talk to him. Then we also get a bunch of scenes of Ronald attempting to talk to Cindy, but for obvious reasons she doesn't want to talk to him. Ronald is so desperate to talk to Cindy that he started loudly mowing her lawn at 6 o'clock in the morning. He tells her that he's sorry and that all he wanted to do was get close to her, and then popularity turned him into something that he wasn't, and that he deserved everything that happened to him on New Year's Eve and blah 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 blah. Then later at lunch, Kenneth, being the absolute righteous dude that he is helping one of Cindy's interchangeable friends at lunch with their homework. This makes one of the popular guys really mad, and he tries to beat Kenneth up. Ronald then sees this and takes a baseball bat and smacks the table with it. Then we get the biggest plot twist of this movie. Kenneth, Ronald, and the popular guy were friends at one point. The popular guy broke his arm one time, and Kenneth and Ronald carried him to the hospital. Then we actually get a pretty solid speech about popularity and being yourself, and Ronald actually manages to redeem himself. The speech was so solid that one of the popular guys starts slow clapping, then everybody in the lunchroom starts applauding. I would make fun of this part, but at my high school we also clapped and applauded after things in lunchroom. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was usually after a fight broke out, and it's when the police was escorting the people in the fight away, but we still clapped, we still applauded. Then Cindy, Ronald, and the other popular kids make up. Ronald asks Cindy to prom, and the movie ends with them kissing while riding a lawnmower into the sunset in a shot that has actually become iconic. The end. And that was Can't Buy Me Love. Does it have issues? Yes. Is it a cinematic masterpiece? No. But it knows what it is, and there's a lot of heart put into it. The protagonist is an absolute jerk at one point in the movie, but you know, that's kind of the whole point. And the thing is, he learns his lesson and he changes for the better. And that's what a protagonist is supposed to do. I know The Breakfast Club is usually considered the movie that is required for every teenager to watch, and don't get me wrong, rightfully so, but I think this movie should be on there too. While the side characters are stereotypical and some elements of high school are over-exaggerated, I think the core of it reigns true. Don't change for other people, especially if they don't care about you. Don't abandon the people that care about you. Don't judge someone before getting to know them. And don't go along with something just because it's popular, because you may make yourself look stupid. Now, this movie isn't underrated or anything. In fact, I think it's actually appropriately rated. And it actually has a bit of a following, and it's usually on like a list of like 80s movies that people like. So to rank this on my list of movies that I enjoyed the most to movies that I enjoyed the least, I'd have to rank this one as number 1, which that's not saying much because of the other 2 movies that I've had to review so far. If you would like to check Can't Buy Me Love out, it is available on HBO Max, and you can watch it for free on IMDb, and you can also watch it for free on YouTube. Now remember, don't pay anyone to date you, and don't wear your mom's expensive clothes to a party.